I'm Jado Z, and I'm back with the top 100 fights in all of Dragon Ball, and no Meech. I'm doing this all alone, Ryan solo, so let's get right into it. Let's go.
And this is to watch Jado Z.
Alright, so to start off, number 60, we just finished with Gotenks versus Bappu, so let's grow out our hair a little bit, fuse again, hop in the hyperbolic time chamber, and get Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks versus Super Buu. Now this fight, where this fight really earned its points was in uniqueness, because what Gotenks really brings to the table is a very unique spectrum of attacks, including the Ghost Kamikaze, which is one of the best attacks in the series as far as uniqueness. It's really attack on its own. I know it made our top 5 attack list earlier when we did that with Meech. So the biggest score it got in from uniqueness was a 70. So solid there. The second highest was presentation at 66. Animation was good. The Bruce Falcon track, of course, was amazing, but nothing too over the top amazing. The epicness, it's going short at 61. It had some explosions. The epicness, we got Super Saiyan 3 and Breaking the Dimensions. No, that was cool, but wasn't that big. That wasn't a big part of the fight. Buu breaking apart the dimensions is a really crazy feat. But as far as affecting the fight, it didn't really do it. And for consequences, the 1 out of 50 points, I only got at 11. As at the time, I think we knew as an audience that I'd Gohan alive. Goku was there but dead again. So on Earth, Gotenks was the strongest one there. But I think as an audience, we knew we had other options. So I only gave that an 11. And the worst score this got was the pacing at 29. What this fight really had a hard time doing was keeping the fight going, with the whole Buu going out the hyperbolic time chamber, the whole idea of Gotenks stalling and trying to be a show-off. All that really hurt the pacing, when all this really had to do was have Gotenks go Super Saiyan 3 right away and have a really good shot of killing Super Buu. Can he do enough damage to obliterate Buu so he can't regenerate? I think he could. So that's really where this goes. Gotenks is a joke character, so that doesn't make sense for the story, but it does hurt the fight. So now on to 59. So with 59, we're staying in the same arc, just a few episodes prior, and it's Goku versus Yakon. Now this was, of course, his second fight in all about these goons, and where this fight really goes across, it's fairly well balanced. Again, with a trend with the Buu sagas, high uniqueness, just short of the section number 69, 68 for uniqueness. Solid. Yakon's power absorbing was interesting. It was like a more bigger range version of Cell. And staying there, we have 62 for pacing. Goku does this thing nice and quick, one of the better pace fights. And then where it hurts a little bit, right below average, 41 for epicness. Nothing too crazy happened, but it did its job. Presentation 38, it looked alright. And its consequences 28, because the whole idea of getting energy to get Buu. So that sums that one up for a grand total of 237 points, tying with the last one. And now to 58. And fight number 58 brings us back into modern Dragon Ball, where we go into the Dragon Ball Super, or preferably for all, Battle of Gods. And this is the Super Saiyan 3, mostly. Goku versus Beerus fight. Now it's Super Saiyan 3 only in the movie. In Dragon Ball Super, they stretch it out, and Goku goes through all of his forms, and it's awful. Right now, you guys can see a little side-by-side comparison of the Super Saiyan 3 fight, and I know all the memes and everything making fun of this episode, but once you look at Super Saiyan 3, the animation is fairly consistent, and it's a pretty solid looking fight. But as far as my list goes, I have it almost 100% based off the movie. So as we start off with the highest grade, we have presentation at 80. Of course, the movie quality, new Dragon Ball looks really, really good. Pacing 70. Of course, it was a short fight, but Beerus was so much stronger than Goku. It makes plenty of sense. So another high score there at 70. Next, we go to uniqueness at 55. Super Saiyan 3, you don't see a whole lot. Beerus, the way Beerus karate chops in the neck or the flick in whatever option or whatever version you're looking at. So not too epic. We get Kamehameha in the super cut, but it doesn't look very impressive. Uniqueness, the next highest is pretty low at 30. Again, nothing interesting really happened. And consequences, only a 5, because the only reason it's not a 0, because Goku could piss Beerus off, theoretically, and he could destroy the goddamn universe. So with that, we have some type of a consequence, but we know our boy Goku is gonna make him like him. He can't hate our boy Goku. So that gives him a little higher than the other two at 240. So now 57. Now for a total 180, let's go all the way back to Dragon Ball and 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai Oil World Tournament. One of the most underrated fights in the entire series. The championship round presents Goku versus Tien. As far as Kid Goku goes, it's probably his second biggest shining moment in Dragon Ball. A really, really great fight. If you guys haven't seen Dragon Ball, I'll say this many more times during this. If you're just a Dragon Ball Z fan, if you just got into Dragon Ball Super, if you just saw Dragon Ball Z Kai, you guys need to see Dragon Ball. There's still plenty of great fights. Yeah, there's no transformations except for Ozaru or Giant Namek, but we do get plenty of great martial arts classic feel. Plenty of great techniques are on full display. This is the first time we really see a really, really powerful attack, and that of course being the Tri-Beam. And it just destroys the whole arena. It looks really, really epic the first time it got pulled off. It shows the backstory of the move. When Tien fights Semi-Perfect Cell and he collapses, that's really impressive because in this fight, Roshi says that if you do that attack once, it could kill you. So that really shows how much stronger Tien got over the years, that you can do that move over and over in the Cell arc and be just out of breath. And his body is just fine. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen this fight, now it's on to the stats. Let's get there. Tien vs Goku stat-wise, really, really good across the board. High score 71 in presentation. As far as Dragon Ball animation goes, this was one of the best moments in its in the over 150 episodes. Number 2 is a slight drop off. Epicness 68. Like I said, Dragon Ball won't give you the giant transformations, but it will give you some great moments like the Tri-Beam and plenty of good stuff like that. But as an epicness, not as high as a lot of DBZ. Another one dropped into a right about average for uniqueness at 51. Tien did his thing where he grew arms out of his back. That's just about it for uniqueness. Pacing 38. The biggest thing with the Dragon Ball tournament fights is they do tend to drag on. This one wasn't as bad as others, but still pretty bad there. And consequences at 15. It's a tournament. This was one of the few times a tournament fight had consequences. That's because Tien, in the beginning of this fight, wanted to kill Goku. And we know it's a tournament. You might not, probably not, especially after Roshi talked some sense to him when they fought. But yeah, still 15 for consequences, so right about average. Well, just slightly below average there. So that gives us a grand total of 243. So that sums up the Tien vs Goku fight. And on to the next one, shall we? Woo! Versus Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, of course, this fight is headlined by the Super Saiyan 3 transformation and shown off of Besides for the fact that the form ended up being pretty much completely useless, turned into a joke in Dragon Ball Super a little bit, but nevertheless, that initial transformation, one of the most epic moments in the entire series. The fight itself wasn't that amazing, but that transformation alone was incredible. So let's get into the stats right away, not missing a beat. Presentation 92, where I said the best part of this was the transformation. The Super Saiyan 3 Goku theme, arguably the best Bruce Falcon track in the whole series. I love the little animation clip of when Goku went Super Saiyan 3, hint Jado Z intro. It's all incredible, really. Epicness 89, again, Super Saiyan 3 transformation, shaking the whole world. It's really hard to top. Really, really hard to top. But since those scores are way too high, this is only ranked 56. He has no one no dive is going to be coming. So I'll start off first at pacing. As amazing of a transformation it was dragged on, man. Now that kind of goes hand in hand. I don't know if I'd rather it being faster, because would that make the presentation go down? Because that's really that earned a lot of its points. I think it could have, and I think the fight in general was dragged down because Goku was just kind of toying with them, giving enough time for Trunks to get across the world, which shouldn't take him but a split second anyways, but whatever. Uniqueness, as far as the fight goes, nothing was really unique. 24, and consequences of 12, because Goku at this point is the strongest character. But he's going to go back to Otherworld soon. 12, because at this he could be the strongest, but we are pretty sure that our boy Gohan will be able to come back in the scene and make an impact. And we have the Goten and Trunks, if you know what's going to go on. So that sums up 56. Now on to 55. In the next episode of the Top 100 Fights in the JDOC channel. We'll see you guys next time.